investing in 2020 after the pandemic started, so everything went really low, and that's actually when I started investing, so I was doing really well. I invested about $5,000 of my own money. I turned it into about $32,000 over the course of like 12 months, which is genuinely fucking insane. But I just entered the market during a really bullish time, meaning I entered the market when everything was really low right after COVID and everything was really cheap, and I bought, and obviously everything went back up, so that everything went up for me. So I decided to take the $5,000 out and put it in my bank account. So I'm like, all right, now I'm basically just gambling with the. Now I'm basically just gambling with the, money. Hey, you didn't clear your way, buddy. Now I'm just basically going to gamble with this. And I'm just going to take a shot at two things here. Right? I'm going to take a shot. I'm going to gamble with the money I made. So I put a bunch into Wish, and I put a bunch into ITRM, which was like a pharmaceutical thing that was up for FDA approval. If it got approved for FDA approval, we were chilling. Yeah, Shell. It's fine. So, unfortunately for me, it got pumped and dumped. Wish did. Unfortunately for me, it got pumped and dumped. Meaning it, there was a bunch of Reddit / whatever retail traders that bought a bunch of it and then sold a bunch of it, and that made me lose literally 20,000 of the 32,000 I had made. Which again, I didn't really end up technically losing any because I was only messing around with the I was only messing around with the profit I had already made, and this was while I was still at Walmart, and I had obviously enough cash on hand to mess around with to see if I could turn something into, a better life for me and the family. And then ITRM got delayed FDA approval, so it dropped from $2 down to $1, which means I lost half my money on that. So I lost like 25 grand during 2020, messing around with just very risky stocks and very risky trading. Since then, I haven't made a single trade that has lost more than like 1,000, and I've made plenty of trades that have made a lot more than that to keep my portfolio good. But those guys that did the pump and dump scheme with Wish, like they did get they got fined and probably jail time or probation or something for doing that because it's illegal. But yeah, and then buying my house instead of renting. That's why I'm always an advocate where somebody's like, "Oh yeah, renting is always bad. You should always own." I'm like, don't listen to those people. There's certain times where renting is bad, and there's certain times where buying is good. It's not just always. It's not just always. So like I bought my house for $188,000 because my one-bedroom apartment was going up to $1,000. And at the time, I know that doesn't sound a lot now, but when we originally got in there, it was a brand new place, one-bedroom apartment, me and the wife, so it was like $900, and that was expensive back in 2013. But it was just, they were just built, they were brand new. The place there had like a pool, it had like it was just a really nice new place. So I was like, yeah, I don't mind paying a lot to live in a nice, even if it is a one-bedroom, a nice place. Then it was going up to like to $1,075, and I was like, buddy, I could get a fucking mortgage I could get a mortgage for that, right? And I could get a mortgage for that, like, right? So I just start the process. I start looking for houses. I apply for a first-time homebuyer's loan through the FDA, not FDA, through the, what is it? I apply for a first-time homebuyer loan through something, some whatever. It's not always better, and I'm going to explain to you why. It's not always better. I'm going to explain to you why. So I bought my house in I bought my house for $188,000, and I owned it for about 6 years before, you know, the stuff happened and I moved into this house. My dash didn't go off. That would have been such a good play if I... Oh, that's annoying. So let me explain it. So we lived in the house for around 60 months. So around 5 years, 60 months. So I was looking to get the buyout price. I was like, I paid $188,000 for it. I've paid $1,400 for the past 60 months. For the past 60 months, I have paid $1,400. Take away the extra stuff, and yeah, it's probably... Take away the extra stuff, and yeah, it's probably... his passive one, unfortunately. He got his passive up from the alt, and I didn't. Take away the you know, extra stuff, and let's just say 1,000 then. We'll just do the quick and easy math. We'll take away 400 of it for, like, taxes and all this different stuff, right? So I've paid 1,000 for 60 months. Easy math. I've paid 60,000. So... You know, I know that's not coming off because there's interest and stuff like that. So let's just say 60,000. I paid 188, so that should be 128. So I probably still owe around 140 or 150, but I'll net a good, you know, $38,000, and I'll help use that money to help this transition for me and my family, right? Sounds good. So I call them and I ask them what the buyout price is, and they tell me $169,800. Meaning only literally like 18,000 has came off the principal out of the fucking 78,000 I paid on it. And I was like, that's got to be a mistake. Go ahead and look it up again. And they're like, nope, it's 169,700. And I was like, so I've lived here for 5 years. I've paid almost $80,000 to you guys. And you're still saying I still owe... You're saying that I owe... You're saying that I owe, I've only paid off 18,000. You're saying I've only paid off 18,000 of the 78,000 I paid y'all. Where's the $60,000? And they're like, well, with the way these loans work, you know, for the first 5 to 10 years... Even though you're paying, like a lot of the first initial payments almost all just go to interest. So the interest I would owe on the 30-year loan, not as much of it is going to the principal. So you would think like, yo, if you're paying 4%, then, you know, 4% of each paycheck? No, that just means you owe them 4% of the value of the house, and they can decide how they structure when and how they get that money. Why is it so slow? Body block me there. Minions body block me! So yeah, so they make sure up front that they're getting their money. So I spent around $78,000 over a 5-year period. That's not including $78,000 spent over a 5-year period. That does not include all the money I had to put into the house, which was substantial as well, to fix it up. That does not include the moving expenses. If I would have just stayed... To give you an example why buying is not always better. It's better long-term in most cases, but it is not always better, and this is a perfect example why. If I would have stayed in that one-bedroom apartment for that 5 years, right, for 1,070, and let's just do the quick math and just say 1,000, right? Let's just do the quick math and just say it's 1,000, right? 1,000 times the 60. Yo! Parker Olson, thank you for the $15 for using my code on SMITE.
Just supported me by using code ChrisTDickson in SMITE.
So to give you an example, we just do the quick math here, right? I would have paid 60,000 instead of 78,000, so I would have gained 18,000. And that's not including, no, because I was paying 1,400, yeah. So I would have gained 18,000 and then probably add another 5,000 for expenses, and then I didn't even get to sell it for 188. I had to sell it for 170. So I actually had to pay closing costs and stuff like that to get it sold. So overall, the house, owning it for a 5 year period, I probably lost around $30,000 to $50,000 on that decision. Hey, thank you for the sub too as well, brother. Huge. So I probably lost 30 to 50,000 on that decision to buy a house and then sell it 5 years later at the time that I did. Because then there's taxes and everything every time you buy it, every time you sell it, closing costs every time. So I probably lost $30,000 to $50,000 on the decision to buy a house and then 5 years later sell it. So is owning better a lot of the times? Yes, but don't listen to people that tell you renting is always worse. It's not. It's not a waste of money either, because there is always going to be an expense associated with living. There's always going to be an expense associated with living. So when you hear about is there people with like Blink with the exact opposite story as me, to where like they decided to rent and they would have literally made more money? It all depends on the housing market, right? Because I'll give you an example now, opposite of that. So I got this house in 2020 when my dad passed away, but I still owed my sister half the value of this house if I wanted it to be mine, obviously, right? Because we're entitled to half. My dad didn't have any money. My dad didn't have any health insurance or life insurance. There was nothing. It was just this house. So I had to pay my sister for half the value of the house. But this house was in such a fucking poor state. It hadn't been kept up on. Stuff was falling apart. The heating didn't work right. This house was literally almost unlivable. So luckily for me, it only got appraised for $75,000. So I had to pay my sister $37,500 without it even being reassessed, and we've probably put at least $20,000 or $30,000 into this house. Maybe more. That's not including labor. That's just parts and shit like that, right? That's just the materials. That's not including like the work we've done into this house or whatever. It's probably like $30,000 to $40,000 we put into this house to make it livable, right? Redoing all the heating, redoing all the electric, redoing all the bathrooms, the upstairs, like redoing literally every room down to like everything. The value of this house, without being reassessed or reappraised or whatever, has quadrupled in value. It's now worth 200 and change, and I bought it for 37.5. It was valued at 75. Now it's triple that, at probably like valued at 200. And if it came and got appraised, that's based on the old estimate of how bad the house used to be. I'm upstate New York. That's what it was appraised for, what it used to be in the state it used to be in, not all the stuff we put in. So if it got appraised now, it's probably getting appraised for 250 or 300. If I would have rented, right, during this time instead of had this house, I would have lost a lot of money. So you can make the same argument both ways, but I just don't like the idea where people say renting is always worse. It's not always worse. Thought you were from Ohio? No. Upstate New York. Owned my first house for 2 years, made 75, then moved up here. My equity is around 100. Nice. Originally from Staten Island. Funny enough, I've lived in upstate New York my entire life. I've only ever been in New York City once. Pretty wild, honestly. Hunting cabin in Rochester. Upstate New York is just such a beautiful fucking place. People always ask me, like, when I like moved to Florida and blah 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 blah, like, why'd you leave? I'm like, buddy, I love living here. I love it here. I love living here. I love it. Don't get me wrong, the winters do get pretty fucking annoying sometimes, but like I get a good solid fucking like 7 months of like 55 to 65 degrees. Like, I'm gonna chill here, and yeah, it'll get hot, don't get me wrong, we'll get 80s and 90s for a little bit, but like we're chilling here for at least half the year of like 65s. Give me it. And you go through a winter, you appreciate the nice weather a lot more. You go through just like, you know, like a 3 or 4 month winter, it's not as bad as you would think. All right, chat. Last duel of the evening. That's going to put us at 10 hours. Shout out to JK, Sandstorm, Pop Tart, Evolution for the gifted subs to extend today's stream. Are we close to 600 or no? Because I do have to get that thing ready if we are. No, okay, we're still 100 away. If we don't hit the 600 sub goal by the subathon, for the new logo and new PFE or anything, I'll just add it to the 100 sub goal. No, we're really far away. Yeah, no. If we don't hit the 600 sub goal by the subathon, which is next Monday, I'll just where's Kali? Oh, he banned Kali. I'll just add it to the 100 sub goal for the subathon. It gets colder sometimes in upstate New York than anywhere else in the world. At certain times. I remember we had a wind chill of -67 like 4 years ago. Like, what the fuck is this? -67. What are you doing? I'll just do another Apollo game for the lulz, I guess. Another Apollo game for the lulz. This is going to put us right at 10 hours. 2 extra hours for y'all. Keep in mind, Chad, don't forget, next Monday we have the subathon. I will be live on camera 24/7 until the timer runs out. 24/7. 24... Is this Aspect? No, it's not Aspect. Okay. We'll be live on camera 24/7 until the timer runs out. There is no cap. There is no way to decrease the amount of time. There is no way to decrease the amount of time of the stream. You can't say, yo, if I pay you $1,000 right now, will you take an hour off the stream? No, there is no way to decrease the amount of time in the stream. There is no way. I will be live 24/7. I will be on camera 24/7, aside from when I shower and bring my son to school. And then sometimes, like, every few hours, I will step away, stretch, you know, because I'm going to be at this computer for 24 hours. I need to stay, like, healthy in terms of, like, don't need to sit that long because it's dangerous. But Sunday, we have the $3,000 Joust tournament. Saturday will be my day off. Monday through Friday is the normal stream. We'll be live until that timer says 0. There will be like a timer right here that will tell you how much stream is left. There will be a timer in the top left corner of the stream that tells you how long we've been live. And then we stream until the timer goes down to 0. We stream till the timer goes down to 0. Sorry, but I didn't know we were doing a jump party. Will there be viewer games? Yes, one of the goals is viewer games, to where like 300 subs is when we start doing viewer games, and then that means every day. Every day there will be. Every day there will be. Every day there will be viewer games for probably at least 4 or 5 hours of the day. Can I play Assault with Maria again? Yes. Probably. First Blood isn't even worth it. I was about to say First Blood worth, and then I realized Duel doesn't have First Blood, but they do have Revenge Gold, so... Actually not worth. Watch this, ready? Ready, ready, ready? Oh, I didn't get there in time. Come for it. Thought it was gonna be funny. Take purple and then... How's Apollo feel? Smite 1. It feels like Smite 1. The alt feels a little slow. The alt feels a little slow.
Your middle tower is under attack.
I did assert dominance, thank you, you're right. Do you think that's because of the map size or his character? It feels slow. His ult feels slow, even on this map, on the Conquest map, even when I ulted, it just feels like you're traveling slow. I don't know why. What's up, Arrow? How you doing? It feels slow, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's intended, I don't know. I feel like you used to get a little bit more oomph. A little bit more oomph in your ult. You go up and then you're just, I don't know, maybe it's the same. I don't know, maybe it's the same. Maybe it's just a different field of view when you're ulting with him, so it just like feels like it's more, but it's really not. I don't know. Do you miss dual orbs? They're alright. They're kind of annoying sometimes, kind of fun sometimes. I'm indifferent about them. I'm indifferent. They're annoying sometimes, they were fun sometimes. The duel community ruined duel. There's nothing that Hyros can do to make this better. They already put in way more than enough effort during Smite 1 to try to make it more fun. They did a lot of different things. It's not salvageable. Like, it's still a quote-unquote fun game mode to dabble in every once in a while, but it realistically was just ruined by the duel community. It turned less into who can fight each other better, and it turned into who can win this 1v1. There's nothing they can do. Kids are going to just exploit whatever they can to earn a quote-unquote win in duel. And they turned it into something that had nothing to do with a 1v1 anymore. The idea, thank you for the bit. The idea of like what I liked about 1v1s in the past was anytime there was like, I used to do like when we would get challenged, we used to do 1v1s. Back in the day, it was like, yo, fucking Call of Duty, yo, hop out in 1v1, yo, Halo, all right, hop out 1v1. That's what we would do. We would hop out in 1v1. That's what we would do. And I liked the original, aspect of that in Smite because I liked, No! I was hoping I could heal off the minions. It turned less into it turned less into who can win this 1v1 and turned more into who can win this game of duel. right? Everyone just started to fucking just PvE the map and play cringe-ass character. It didn't turn into who can 1v1 anyone anymore. It just turned into who can win this game of Duel, and they just made it really lame. The Duel community killed Duel with their sweaty try-harding, and not from the aspect that I want to prove I'm better than you, but I want to win this 1v1 and think I'm better than you. That's why there's plenty of kids in Duel. Anytime they ever went to Conquest, they were just dog shit. It's like, well, body back at that if you want, buddy.
No. I ain't going back to the pen, you hear?
That's why a lot of those kids that came to Conquest, they just got dumpstered. That's why I was never worried about me going to Conquest, because I was good outside of the cringe they were doing. It's probably, it can't be the map, right? The map is literally almost the exact same structure. It's probably just the items then. It's probably just the items, the amount of different actives and things there is, right? That's the issue with Duel in general, is there's so much cringe to find, and especially when you have this many items, you're going to find cringe. It's got to be the builds. And they shouldn't do anything to change it, right? Like, we had them take out Lifebinder because that was cringe, and then they, you know, take out Sunder because that's cringe, and they're just going to find themselves in a situation where they just keep having to find something else to take out of the game. Possibly not enough gods? Yeah, maybe. I don't think the matchups are inherently why it's boring. I think the builds and the dynamic builds lead you to a lot of ways that people can play a boring game, and I feel like people have adopted a boring play style in Duel because they'd prefer to just not lose rather than just, like, when I play a Duel, like, I just want to fight. I just want to fight. I want to see if I can win this trade with you, even if I'm low. I just want to just test things, min-max stuff. I want to see if I'm capable of winning this fight, if I play it correctly, position correctly. I want to do that. Duel just turned into fucking, all right, I'm going to run away and only fight when I have full actives and beats. Like, I already know what's going to happen here. It's boring. Just fight. It's weird how he got a basic attack off while he was knocked up. I cannot wait for the Apollo nerfs. He doesn't really need nerfs, to be honest with you. He doesn't really need nerfs, brother. Apollo isn't overperforming. His abilities aren't overperforming. Nothing really needed nerf for. If anything, you probably need to buff because his ult is pretty shit, especially when people get on you, like, can't travel far enough. Teleporters nerfed him? True. Welcome back, Lord Tuco. Would you like to fight out here? No? Let's fight.